Hi everybody. What's funny about this video is if in a perfect world it wouldn't exist because I did my first rhythm theory video when I had to delete it, and I did my second one trying to do as good as I did on the first one, but I left out some things on the second one that I put in the first one, therefore the need to do this one. It's like a makeup video. But it'll be different somehow, probably, than it would have if the first one would have been on there, but this is an attempt to come close. So sorry about that, but I forgot a couple things, at least one thing, on my second theory video that I had in my first theory video, and I didn't want to leave you guys hanging. And then I thought, since I'm doing this anyway, I'll throw in one more thing, and maybe we'll see what happens. This is a rhythm theory video. The third one I've made, the second one of which is going to be actually on my channel. What I discussed in the first video that I didn't put in the second one is something called syncopation. It just slipped my mind the second time. And the syncopation is very cool, very tricky. Syncopation is basically reordering, keeping the same number of beats that you're dealing with, but reordering the groupings of them. For instance, if you're like in Taylor Swift's Shake It Off, she does something, I don't even remember the chords right now. Let's see if I can try to... but it's something like she's going, and rhythmically she's going, I have to mess up the notes though. She's going, notice it's all 4/4 time, and it's all eighth notes, which means there's 8 beats per measure, because an eighth note divides a quarter note into 2, and there's 4 quarter notes, therefore there's 8 eighth notes. But in the first section, she's going 3, 3, and 2. And then in the second section, it's 4 and 4. Well, that's an example of syncopation. 4 and 4 is still 8, and 3, 3, and 2 is still 8. But it changes it to break it up into 3, 3, and 2 versus 4 and 4. Even though it's still 4/4, it's still eighth notes, and it gives you lots of creative license when it comes to rhythm. Because she'd have just gone... It wouldn't be the same. It changes it. So I like that. That's something called syncopation. And a few more examples of that I think are deserved. Plus maybe something of my own, but we'll see. I'm trying to think of an example here. Jimmy Page did a lot of syncopation in his songs. I'm not even going to try to touch it. He just did so much cool stuff with rhythmic syncopation that's just great. I'm going to mention, but I'm not going to do him right now, I don't think. I'm going to do, what was I going to do? I'm going to do, I'm just enjoying this. 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2. What was I going to do? I have, can't remember right now. Let's think it. Syncopation. That version. Bear with me, guys. It's got a brain fart here. See the Swift thing. I got a Steve Vai example. I'm gonna give there too. What is the other example I had? Syncopation. Oh yeah, I got it now. This is very, very hard, easy to miss. That's one reason I even couldn't remember thinking of that was going to be the sample. It's in the song Manic Depression by Jimi Hendrix. And I noticed that even the great Eric Johnson, when he does it he does Manic Depression in his 2006 show called Anaheim, with Chris Maresh on bass and Tommy Taylor on drums, something like that. He goofs it up, or maybe he does it on purpose, I don't know, but he doesn't do it like Jimmy. Let's take a look at it. And then I'll go through some more examples after that. So in Manic Depression, Jimi Hendrix is going, the melody is going, it's in 3/4 time, but it's swung. So it's triplets in 3/4 time. So it's, and then now in that, it's 3s, but he's going to change it up. Okay, so and then it's going to go, and then it's going to go, instead of 3, 3, 3, it's going to go, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. 2, 3, and then it's going to go, did you catch that? So it's the 2, 3, 4 is equal to 3, 3, 3. But he's holding this for 2. First 3. 1, and that's really clever because Eric doesn't do that. He goes. That's not the same. Jimmie goes. So. It's that he does 2, 3, and 4, which is still 9, 3, 3, and 3, but it changes it up. And then not only that, but Jimmie makes it even more clever by doing it that way twice. Then the third time he changes it from 3 and 4 to 4 and 3. So he goes. So the first 2 times are this. And then he goes. The third time. That time it's 2, 4, and 3. But that's still 3, 3, and 3. So you take the same number of beats, but you change up the ordering of them. And Eric doesn't do that. He keeps it in all 3s. It runs it for me. And he's the great Eric Johnson. So, yeah, and there's other examples of that. I'm even thinking of another one on Eric's that same concert by Eric, but he does some good syncopation, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do, one of my favorites that I've been putting on my channel is Pulse Personality. And I haven't talked about the fast part yet. And what's cool about the fast part isn't just that it's fast, it's the rhythmic parts of it. So let's check it out. The fast part in the fast part is this. This is what I like. What's cool about that is it's all 4/4, but this is 4, 3, and 5, which still makes 4, 4, and 4. But it's Syncopation. That's very interesting. And there's just many examples of this. That makes it interesting rhythmically as well as being a fast part. That's So there's that. And one of my own, I'll do a silly example of my own for this. I think I will. Well, you get the gist of it, I think. I think you get the gist of syncopation. It's just, if you have a 4, it can be divided into 3 and 5, as well as 4 and 4. So if you're going through the song, it can be... As opposed to... It can be also like I did the first time. So just remember that you can change it up. Like it's basically math. Then this is another subject I didn't even talk about in my first rhythm video that I want to bring up now. And this would not have happened if I hadn't done this. So sometimes there's good that comes out of things that might not have been. and that's backbeat. I never talked about that. And then I want to talk about Latin rhythm, which I hadn't discussed in the first video. So you're getting some free things here that wouldn't have been done if I had kept that first video. Backbeat is interesting because what makes rock and roll rock and roll? Is it just that it's from 4/4 time? Well, a lot of classical music is in 4/4 time, but it's not rock and roll. So what's the difference? What's the difference between 4/4 in classical music and 4/4 in rock and roll? First, let's see if we can play both examples. In classical music, I'm going to pick maybe Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. So that's 4/4, but it doesn't sound like rock and roll. Why is that? Well, the emphasis is on beats 1 and 3. So it's basically one, two, three, four. One, two, three, four. That's the reason that doesn't sound like rock is because rock uses what's called backbeat, and that means emphasizing beats 2 and 4 instead of beats 1 and 3. So that in rock and roll, you don't go. You emphasize 2 and you don't not one. You don't emphasize beats 1 and 3. You emphasize beats 2 and 4. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how you get the rock sound. It's called backbeat, as opposed to one. If you emphasize beats 1 and 3. Backbeat rock and roll is beats 2 and 4. If you emphasize beats 1 and 3, dun 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 dun. It's a different. I'm not know if I'm giving good examples of this, but that's the whole difference between the sound of rock and roll and non-rock and roll classical music 4/4 times. Classical music emphasizes beats 1 and 3. And that's called standard or whatever, and then rock and roll emphasizes beats 2 and 4, which is called backbeat, which gives it the rock sound. I don't know if I'm giving good examples of this, but that's a good principle there. Okay, but you can do both backbeat and you can do non-backbeat and rock and roll too, but a lot of the rock sound is based on backbeat. Another example of syncopation I want to throw in. Which I should have probably talked about before, is well, let me think. Steve Vai does a good example of syncopation in his one of the songs that he uses. There are 16 16th notes in a measure of 4/4 with 16th notes, and instead of making 16th as 4, 4, and 4, 8 and 8, he makes it as 7 and 9, which is really cool. And it makes it's cool. At 7 and 9 is still 16, so it makes it interesting. He'll go like and it sounds kind of spacey because of that. Instead of just, you know, I think it's called The Animal, or maybe it's called The Riddle. I don't know. What are the songs on Passion and Warfare? So that's interesting too, what he throws in there. Now I want to talk about playing in 3/4 time versus 4/4 time versus 5/4 time, just to give you some ideas. And you could also think of that as triplet time, triplet feel versus 16th note feel versus quintuplet feel, if you want to break it down lower. If you're playing 3 notes for string scales, it's simple in 3/4 time. Just think of going one direction 3 times. You get a good swing feel that way. Way to just think in 3 at a time when you play, either to play in swing feel in 4/4 time or play in 3/4 time, and that's a good way to break it down. And then if you're in 4/4 time or if you're in 16th notes, then do this. Moving it that way. More 16th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. What did you get that feel? And then I was thinking, because I didn't do it right on my last rhythm video, on how to do 5/4. Well, 5/4 is down a note and then up and then down on the same string. Like that. Not but all the way up and down. We're doing 5/4 time or quintuplet. I just thought I'd throw that in there. So that's cool. Is there anything else I want to think of that I didn't think of in rhythm? Let me think. I might have done it lousy showing you guys backbeat, but I think you get the concept. If you emphasize these 1 and 3. Mary had a little lamb talking through the forest. Little bunny foo walking through the forest. 1 and 2, bopping him on the head. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and bopping him in the head. That's not rock. It's 1 and 3. But if you emphasize 2 and 4, it's 1 dun dun dun. Bang your head, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, bang your head. And just emphasizing beats 2 and 4, which is called backbeat, suddenly makes 4/4 time into rock and roll versus little bunny foo walking through it's still, you know. Or bang your head is. So just think about the emphasis of which, in 4/4 time you have the 2 examples, emphasizing beats 1 and 3 or emphasizing beats 2 and 4. But know you're doing that, and do it at will. Don't just always play backbeat because you don't know how to do beats 1 and 3, because then you're missing out on some music. And then if you're not a rocker, don't never do backbeat because you only know classical and you just emphasize beats 1 and 3 all the time. Try to know both. Emphasize both. Do both. And final thing, I was not going to mention Beelzebub, the song by Bill Bruford in my talk, because it kind of goes over everybody's heads, I have a feeling. But I'm not going to. I'm going to right now. And Beelzebub it's in 5/4 time, the main groove. Even though there's also grooves in 9/8 time, 3/4 time, and a couple just sparse 4/4. But that's not really 4/4. It's still in 5. So anyway, Bill Bruford. There's different ways of Bill Bruford does a backbeat version of 5/4 time, because 5/4 time can be 2 and 3. But he emphasizes beats 2 and 5 instead of 1 and 3. So instead of dun dun dun, instead of dun 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 dun. No, instead of dun 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 dun, it's dun 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 dun. Wait, dun 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 dun. He's emphasizing 2 and 5, which is like a backbeat version of 5/4 time, which is really cool. So it's like instead of 1 and 3, it's 2 and 5. That's cool. It's like a backbeat version of 5/4 time. And the last thing I want to cover in this video that I wasn't even going to mention on any of my videos is Latin rhythm. And this is a lot of people don't study this, but I think it's important. Latin rhythm is when you have half of the measure of 4/4 time is just 2 beats, and the other half is the same as 2 beats but divided into three. So it's not quite 5/4 time because the beats aren't. Let me explain this. In regular 4/4 time, in Latin, it can be it's 1, 2, or it can be so one of the twos gets broken into 3 evenly. Of the 4 beats in the major, and it's not 5/4 time because that's just even 5 evenly. It's not that. And a good example of this is from a song that might be from my biological father, The Doors. Jim Morrison. He does "Light My Fire," and there's a part in there when it's in Latin. So it's what I would do, what I would do. And then it goes into the rock part. That's straight, not Latin. It's just straight rock. It makes a difference. It's a little clever thing. And he does that. It's clever. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You know what I would be untrue. 2, 3. No 1, 2, 7 to you. 2, girl sent to you. 2, 1, 2, 3. Girl I couldn't. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3 and 4. Come on, baby, light my fire. So that he's throwing Latin rhythm in there, and it's cool. I'll play some examples of just making up some Latin stuff. Sounds very much like your Latin Cuban thing. If I do rock, different feel, and it's all this like I did in The Doors, Light My Fire. So remember Latin rhythm and study that too. And remember, it's not 5/4 because that's 5 evenly. It's 2 and then 3 in the space of 2 in 4/4. So that's cool. Anything else I forgot to say? Remember the Steve Vai thing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's actually 16, but he makes it by breaking it into 7 and 9. It makes it interesting. So anyway, I think that's it. I hope I covered what I wanted in rhythm. Did I? Let me think. I did triplets. to make sure I covered everything. Okay, I think I did all right. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.